This is absolutely amazing what it does. And these are anti-inflammatory compounds that protect our arteries against plaque. Plaque is the number one thing that causes heart disease in our arteries. It helps improve blood flow, it protects our brain, and it decreases inflammation throughout our entire body, including our brain.
Hello, I'm Mary Colbert, and welcome to Dr. Colbert's Divine Health Show. We are continuing on a very important topic on your health. It is high blood pressure. Don has so much information. There's no way in all the shows we could give you everything that you need to know. So I want you to just go back and watch the other shows, and then he's got more information today to build upon it. It is all critical that you hear. This is an important topic, Don.
Oh, absolutely, Mary. High blood pressure is epidemic. 50% of Americans have it, and it's not being treated. And so many people are dying and develop end-organ damage, having heart attacks, strokes, congestive heart failure, aneurysms, kidney disease, hypertensive eye disease, atherosclerosis, peripheral vascular. It just goes on, and we're seeing so much of this because the longer you put it off, the more diseases you will accumulate, and you'll have an early death. And strokes take so many people out. It's the 5th leading cause of death, and among women, it's the 3rd leading cause of death.
That was the most shocking thing you said in the first show.
Well, heart disease is number one.
No, I know, but
and the
for women,
the main trigger for heart disease is high blood pressure.
Wow.
And the rules have changed since 2017. Now they've had to lower the parameters, the guidelines for high blood pressure because so many people were developing end-organ disease. And it wasn't being treated. Realize about 50% of Americans have high blood pressure, but only about 25% of Americans have it under control. It's not under control.
That is just...
And they're checking the blood pressure wrong. They're not doing it. They got to keep, when you have your blood pressure checked, you got to have it checked right. It's got to be sitting down. You got to have your arm at the level of your heart, usually a pillow under your arm. You can't be holding your arm like this. Your pressure's going to be high. You can't have your legs crossed. And again, you can't be drinking a Starbucks or eating a bacon and sausage full of salt before you have your pressure checked. So again, it's critical that you have your pressure checked in both arms and you have it checked regularly, and realize if your pressure is greater than 130 systolic, greater than 80 diastolic, you've got high blood pressure, stage 1. And again, back before 2017, that was normal.
And you know what is so upsetting to hear is that I have always heard that the top one can be a little high as you get older. Like it can be 140, 150 if you want to have
a stroke and a heart attack and aneurysms.
As long as that lower number is lower, the top one
you better get them both under control and keep them under control, or else you're headed for trouble.
Don, that is just new news.
But Mary, let me tell you something. What's so frustrating, because I've been doing this for over 40 years, is the more belly fat you have, the higher your pressure is. The more salt you take in, the higher your pressure is. If you're black, African American, you're going to have higher blood pressure than any other racial group, and you're going to be more salt sensitive. And that's why diuretics work best in our black brothers and sisters. So again, the rules have changed. But one thing is for sure, burning belly fat helps to lower blood pressure. We know that. You see, when you choose to have a lot of belly fat, and blood pressure is a choice disease for the majority of people. When you choose to have a lot of belly fat, it increases a chemical called C-reactive protein. C-reactive protein, the more belly fat you have, the higher C-reactive protein. And then it constricts the arteries and raises the blood pressure. But when the C-reactive protein comes down by burning belly fat, losing weight, the blood pressure generally follows it. They go one with another. And so that's why I've been teaching patients for years, many years, actually I've been doing this for over 20 years, to follow a healthy ketozone diet. Now, I've written books on this. I'll show you, I've written 3 books on it right here. Here's the Beyond Keto. This is my newest keto book because People on the regular keto diet tend to have high cholesterol because they eat a lot of butter, they eat a lot of coconut oil, cheese, and high-fat dairy. And so dairy is not so healthy. So we choose mainly olive oil, avocado oil, nuts, and things like that, healthy fats. This is what this has. This is a healthy keto diet you can stay on, or this the Ketozone, but the healthy Ketozone with low saturated fats, a lot of monounsaturated fats in the form of nuts and seeds and olive oil and high-phenolic olive oil and oleocanthols and avocado oil and all kinds of healthy oils. And it also teaches you how to follow the healthy Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet is the healthiest diet in the world, but the Beyond Keto diet will help you lose the belly fat the fastest. So a lot of times people will follow the Beyond Keto diet first, or the Ketozone diet, and then once they reach their goal weight, switch to the healthy Mediterranean diet. Now, I wrote a book, What Would Jesus Eat, back over 20 years ago, and I have What Would Jesus Eat cookbook. This is a wonderful cookbook that explains to you the foods Jesus ate, which was the Mediterranean diet. And so
great recipes in there. There's some great recipes.
Right, but let's explain then also we have the Ketozone diet I wrote back about 10 years ago, and the Ketozone cookbook. But these have more dairy. I've taken most of the dairy out in the new Beyond Keto book, which is my favorite. So let's talk about the Ketozone diet. Is simply a high fat. About 70% of your diet is fat, but it's mainly olive oil. Like what I do is I eat a lot of salads. I'll get romaine lettuce, and I'll put a little bit of feta cheese on it. I'll get cucumbers and different veggies to put on it, mushrooms. And I'll get my high-phenolic olive oil, and I'll just pour on about 4 to 5 tablespoons. You say that much? Now, don't start with that much, or you're going to get some loose stools.
Yeah.
But I do that because my body runs on olive oil. Why? Because olive oil literally helps to get rid of plaque. It opens the blood vessels up. It's good for your brain. It's good for your liver. It's good for every organ in your body. And that's Jesus' main fat. He ate olives and olive oil.
I know. It's awesome. You know, the scripture actually even says in Revelation to the angels at the end of time, don't touch the wine or touch the olives. Actually, it says, don't touch the wine and the oil. And people think that he's talking about crude oil. I believe he's talking about the olive oil.
Yeah.
Because you need that for long life. You really do. The olives are absolutely critical for long life, I believe.
And, absolutely. I add my olive oil to my healthy soups. Like I'll get healthy vegetable soup, and I'll add about 4 tablespoons olive oil to it.
Right.
My salads. Smoothies, olive oil doesn't go good with smoothies, so I'll use avocado oil. Get the cold pressed avocado oil, pull it, but again, just start low, go slow, and your body will get used to it. But you'll literally start cleaning your arteries out with olive oil. But here's the key: the Ketozone diet is a high fat, 70% fat. Now, people, when I say that, their head tilts. That much fat, they have fat phobia, because they've been taught by their doctors to not eat the butter and the cheese and the cream and all the high fat, the coconut oil, which I agree, don't. You want to minimize that and eat more olive oil and avocado oil. And avocados for breakfast, I'll usually have a half an avocado. And it's a high healthy fat diet. It is a low carbohydrate diet, only 5 to 10% carbohydrates. And it is a moderate protein diet, about 20 grams of protein. Now, how does that compare with standard American diet? Here's the standard American diet. We have 50% of our calories, about 50% is carbohydrates. We have about 15% as protein and 35% as fat, but unhealthy fats, saturated fats, trans fats, fried foods, the bad fats. And the dietary guidelines for Americans recommends that we consume 45 to 65% of our calories as carbohydrates. If you do that, you have just signed up for insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, and obesity, belly fat, all of the above. That is too many carbohydrates, and literally it puts you in insulin resistance, and you'll gain weight, and you'll also raise your blood pressure. So please don't follow that advice. That's why I recommend my Beyond Keto first. Once you reach your weight, then go to the healthy Mediterranean diet. So what happens to our bodies? When our bodies are following a high healthy fat, low carb diet, our body shifts from burning sugar. See, 99.9% of people in this country burn sugar as their fuel. When you are doing the Beyond Keto or Ketozone diet, you are burning fat as your fuel. And one of the preferred fats the body burns is belly fat. So as we do this, as we eat fat, more fat, our body's insulin level drops. Now here's the key with insulin. Insulin, when your insulin goes low, it produces a diuretic effect in your body. By lowering your insulin, you lower your sugar, and you don't have the carbohydrates, so your body goes into your diuretic effect and your pressure drops and you excrete all this excess fluid. I've had so many people on the keto diet that says, hey, my blood pressure is totally normal now. They used to have high blood pressure.
Awesome.
So again, you're burning fat as fuel, and it's lower, and the primary fat you burn is belly fat, Mary. So it's amazing how the weight comes down, the blood pressure comes down, people get healthy. Now they still eat carbs, but they eat healthy carbs, vegetables. So like I'll have, like when we go out to eat, I'll have asparagus many times, or I'll have broccoli, I'll have some protein, and then I have a lot of olive oil on my salad.
I know.
So, and I'm full. I am full for hours.
Yeah.
But you are in the fat burning zone. This is the fat burning zone. Now, if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, normal person, they can get in this keto zone or fat burning zone in only about 2 to 7 days. But if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, it may take you 2 to 4 weeks and sometimes longer to enter the keto zone or fat burning zone. For that reason, we have simple hacks that help you hack into the keto zone, which are instant ketones. This is beta-hydroxybutyrate, an exogenous ketone. When you take this, the right serving, and mix it with water, it has kind of a lemonade taste. It puts you in the keto zone within about 30 minutes. You're in the fat burning zone. So it helps you break into the fat burning zone, especially good for pre-diabetics, diabetics, or people that have hunger cravings. It helps them hack into the zone. Other things that help are these MCT oil powders. These are delicious powders you can add to a smoothie, or you can add to
your coffee,
and that's what I like to do. Chocolate is our favorite. You have coconut cream, those are our 2 best ones. But just caution, don't have too much. A lot of people are having all day long, because if you have too much, you can raise cholesterol. The scoop a day is generally fine. It helps turn the brain on. Helps a lot of people charge their brain, because this is a unique kind of fat that doesn't require enzymes and digestive enzymes to absorb it. It's almost instantly absorbed. It goes to the liver, which is then shuttled in the liver to make ketones, and it puts you in the keto zone. Now, the best is the instant ketones, but the MCT oil powder is also good. And then if you're on a keto diet, you need fiber. The one thing about the keto diet, it lacks, most people don't eat enough vegetables, not enough fiber, and not enough omega-3 fats. So we recommend our fiber zone. This is my favorite. I take it twice a day, because if you're not eating carbs, grains, breads, you're not getting enough fiber. So I take a scoop of this, or a heaping scoop, twice a day, and 4 to 8 ounces of cold water, and
it tastes great.
It's amazing. It tastes like key lime pie.
It does.
So it's my dessert.
Gaggy. It's not gaggy. Right. It has to pass the Mary Colbert taste.
Right. So again, when you're in the keto zone, you're in the fat burning zone. When you're in the fat burning zone, you're burning belly fat. When you're burning belly fat, it's helping to lower the blood pressure. And this is many times all people need to do to help lower their pressure. Now, the Mediterranean diet that we talked about, and I talk about that also in my Beyond Keto book, the Mediterranean diet has tremendous benefits. Number one, the benefits are primarily from eating more veggies. And that's when the Mediterranean diet, we went to Greece years ago, and we literally went with a friend that lives in Crete. We went to Crete, went to Athens, and we went throughout Greece. And we found that these people ate a ton of veggies. Veggies at every meal. Started with a huge salad, and then they had a big old bottle of olive oil. We poured olive oil all over our food. Remember, we did not just a little bit. We poured it all over. We poured like 4, 5, 6 tablespoons.
It was so delicious.
We went through the whole bottle with the table, Mary, of 6 people.
I know.
That was amazing, and we.
It's a lot of calories, though. It is taking in a lot of calories, so you can't ignore that.
Also with the Mediterranean diet. Now, this is once you get your weight off, you switch from the Beyond Keto or Ketozone diet to the healthy Mediterranean diet. You can eat more healthy fruits. Not on the keto diet. You can just have a little 1/4 cup of berries on the Ketozone or a Beyond Keto diet. But once you go to the Mediterranean, you can have more fruit. just not the sweet fruits like the ripe bananas are full of sugar, okay?
Now, earlier you mentioned about C-reactive protein
Yes.
being brought down. Is that a blood test?
Yes,
that
I
people have done?
check HS, or high-sensitive C-reactive protein, on every patient. And I've learned over the last 40 years that people that have more belly fat generally have higher C-reactive protein.
What should a good C-reactive?
Less than 3, ideally less than 1.
Really?
Ideally less than 1. People with belly fat commonly have it 4, 5, 6, and I tell them not to worry, but we watch it come down as they burn off that belly fat. It's amazing how they correlate with one another, okay? But it also can mean excessive inflammation in their body. So a lot of people with autoimmune disease have that.
Is that what it is? It's a measurement of inflammation?
Fat is highly
Okay.
inflammatory. The more belly fat, the more inflammation you have in your body.
So that's basically the fat measuring blood test.
Well, it measures inflammation. And the
Inflammation,
more
okay.
belly fat you have, the more inflammation, and generally the higher your pressure.
Okay,
They all
that's
go
good to know.
together.
That's good to
It's a
know.
simple test that I've been following for years, and I've seen this.
And they can recommend this to their doctor when they go see their
Absolutely,
doctor
sure.
to say, listen, I want you to do my C-reactive protein
So they
blood
should.
test.
Absolutely.
They
Everyone
should
should
be
know their
included.
C-reactive protein. I know all my patients' C-reactive protein.
That's good.
Because it goes so commonly with high blood pressure. Now, the parts of the Mediterranean diet that are so healthy for you are, again, eating more veggies, eating more fruit, eating more olive oil, especially the high-phenolic olive oils, which are extremely healthy for you, consuming more wild, low-mercury fish. I call them the smash fish, like the sardines, the mackerel, the anchovies, the salmon, and the herring. Those are smash fish that are low in mercury, that are high in omega-3 fats that are so important for our arteries. Also consuming more beans, peas, lentils, and hummus. They're full of fiber. The thing about most diets, and especially in America, more constipation. More constipation, more risk of polyps, colon polyps, and colon cancer. Just within the last year or two, they've recommended now, they changed recommendations on colonoscopies. Now they recommend anyone that's 45 or older have a colonoscopy, at least every 10 years. Why? Why is that? Because we're seeing so much colon cancer in younger people. Why? They're eating white bread, white flour. White flour, white bread causes constipation. Again, there's a link between not enough fiber and too much colon cancer. So that's why we need fiber. That's why I recommend my Fiber Zone, delicious fiber. Or when you get on the Mediterranean diet and you've a healthy Mediterranean diet, you've lost your weight, you can have some beans, peas, lentils. Just some of you may need 2 or 3 Beano before eating the beans. Hummus, like we go out to a Greek restaurant at least once a week and we have their hummus, and instead of pita bread, we don't get pita bread, we get cucumbers. And they're sliced up cucumbers, and we dip the cucumbers in the hummus, and it's with olive oil on it. It's absolutely delicious.
And let me tell you a great tip. It's a great tip.
This is
You can get the Einstein bagel salt. It's a seasoning from Einstein. You can get it in the grocery store. Put that over your cucumbers or even your celery. I would put celery with a little bit of cream cheese and eat it that way.
Right.
Wow, is it good?
So other things that make the Mediterranean diet very healthy are consuming more nuts and seeds, real high in fiber, real high in these powerful omega-3 fats that protect us against heart disease. And finally, reduction in the consumption of red meat. The Mediterranean diet does not allow so much red meat or pork or processed meats. Also, they diminish the amount of processed carbohydrates and starches and sugary foods and desserts and junk food. So that's what makes it so healthy, is not only the foods they recommend, but the foods they recommend you avoid, okay?
Wow.
Now, the healthiest food in the Mediterranean diet by far, in my opinion, is the high-phenolic olive oil, Mary. This is absolutely amazing what it does. And these are anti-inflammatory compounds that protect our arteries against plaque. Plaque is the #1 thing that causes heart disease in our arteries. It helps improve blood flow, it protects our brain, and it decreases inflammation throughout our entire body, including our brain. So I take this high-phenolic olive oil every day, as you do too. The most powerful component in olive oil is oleocanthal. Oleocanthal is a super polyphenol that protects our body. Amazing. It has the ibuprofen effect, so when you have some, you get a mild cough and burning in the back of your throat. That's the ibuprofen effect. That means it's super high quality olive oil.
I know. When I first took it, I mean, we were over in Greece doing it.
Right.
I was gagging and, that's right, that's right. And they go, oh no, that means
That
it's
means it's
good.
good. It's good for you.
I just remember that, and I just thought, okay, that's good for me. So that's just a good little tip. If it's not burning, you're not hacking, it ain't very good.
Right. Now, Mary, on the next show, I'm going to be talking about the foods that lower your blood pressure and the supplements that lower your blood pressure.
Okay, we're going to be talking about natural ways.
Now, if
can
you're
do
on a blood
this.
pressure medicine, don't stop it.
That's
Please.
right.
Don't say no,
Important.
but have your pressure monitored, but stay on your blood pressure medicine. Please.
Yes. Stay with us. We've got more to come.